Another trade recap. It's been a while, Loki, since I made one because I just have not been trading a lot lately, just with the way the market's been. I mean, this is just wickedly bullish, just straight soaring past all-time highs. This is not my type of market. This is not my type of price action. So I've taken a few trades here and there, but I haven't been trading regularly. Maybe one trade a week over the past like month or so. But today ended up giving some really clean setups. I took two trades today. Both were winners. I want to get into that right quick. So going into market open, I am extremely bullish. Now, why am I bullish? Because we're at all-time highs. I This catches my eye within like 3 milliseconds of getting on the market this morning. I see all of these relative equal highs on NQ at all-time highs. So this is a very strong draw on liquidity. And then what are we doing? We are coming out of this key level here on the bigger time frame, being this 4 hour for value gap. Right. So all-time highs get taken out. Market accumulates. What are we doing when we accumulate up here? We are generating liquidity. We are generating buy side liquidity. Then we get this rebalance here. And like, remember, what are the four reasons that markets move? We generate liquidity, we hunt liquidity, we rebalance to inefficiencies, and we rebalance to equilibrium, right? So here we are generating liquidity, rebalancing to an inefficiency being this 4 hour fair value gap. And then what am I looking to see? Once we're in this, I'm looking to see this hold and then get a move higher, right? So at market open, this is not there's nothing here for me basically. Like I look at this and I'm like, okay, I am bullish. I want to see this be the draw on liquidity today, but right now I can't touch anything because we're simply just in the middle of a range, right? There's no opportunity here. So, but we get the ideal open. So when the market opens, we come up, sweep, manipulate this high, and then we get this really nice sell off here, which ends up being manipulation, which is exactly what you want to see. Like you don't want to see if you want to take a long towards these highs, you need some form of manipulation, right? So what actually ends up happening here is ES goes out and takes this low, right? So ES goes out and takes London low. If we go to the 5 minute, as you can see, this low is swept, NQ does not. So bullish SMT gets put in here, and now I'm looking to see the reaction of the SMT, because remember, an SMT in and of itself is not enough to permit you to take an entry. Basically, what you need to pay attention to, and what is more important than the SMT itself, is context and the reaction. So what is the context of this SMT? It's in a 4 hour for value gap. We have buy side above, and then what is the reaction? This 5 minute bearish imbalance getting completely obliterated. That's the reaction. So as you can see, market trades up through this, showing that we're not bearish and we are extremely bullish. And at this point in time, I'm like, okay, this is a draw on liquidity. I just needed to look for an actual entry now. So the 5 minute candle closure was right here, as you can see. I did not take this long here because I just did not like the fill, right? So you could have technically slapped it on this 5 minute inverse, but as you can see, where this candle closes is all the way up here. So that would have been like, where's 845? This would have literally been your entry right here. And then you would have had to have your stop like either below this order block or like below this entire price leg. And that's just a terrible fill. So I was looking to see either a rebalance to the inverse or a 5 minute open up bullish and then get a rebalance there. So market starts chopping around up here, which is exactly what you want to see because we're building liquidity, we're generating liquidity here, and then we get that really nice rebalance. We look like we might get bought up, but then this 1 minute ends up holding. We sell off, and this is exactly what you want to see. You want to see the initial sell off, get bought up a little bit, internal manipulation, but this low getting taken here, and then you want to see this 5 minute hold bullish. So let me just mark out the 5 minute right quick. Internal low gets swept here, and then right here we ended up getting a really nice 30-second inverse. Now I don't even have the subscription for the 30-second right now on TradingView, so I use Topstep, but this is the 30-second that I was looking at. As you can see, this is where we rebalance to the 5 minute imbalance here. We're holding this 30-second order block here, and then what happens to this 30-second bearish imbalance? It gets displaced through very clean inverse here. So this is where I end up taking my entry right here. And then I initially took like 7, I think, micros, and then I realized this is like an A++ setup, so I just doubled down on my position. I had my stop at this low. This is what the trade was looking like, and then I'm simply just targeting all-time highs. And this trade plays out beautifully. And that was actually the second trade I took. I should have done ES first, the recap, but I also took another trade on ES. And let's get into that right quick. Wait, hang on, let me quickly bring up the executions. And yeah, this is pretty much what happens at all time highs. We just continue higher. And I was low key. I was thinking about like trailing my stop to say like here or break even, and then just letting it run. Because sometimes you will get to take advantage of these big moves at all time highs. But at the same time, I'm not going to get greedy. I'm just going to take the low hanging fruit, take what I'm confident in, because this is taking these types of trades. This is how you get consistent results, right? If you go for this every single time, sure, you might catch it, maybe once a month, one out of every, 8 to 10 trades you take, but you're not going to catch this every single time. So knowing that this happens maybe 15% of the time, why should you go for it 100% of the time? That's kind of my opinion on this. Is yes, you can, trail your stop and try to catch these big moves, but if you want consistent results, go for these trades. Go for these ones that are dead obvious, right? So, and when this is the draw on liquidity, when we're coming out of this 4-hour imbalance here, we have the S&T, we have this really clean 5-minute inverse here, and the 5-minute change. And say it's dead obvious to me that we're going here, right? So I don't really care to try to catch all of this. I'm just going to take what I'm confident in. But yeah, let me bring up the executions right quick. So here are those executions. As you can see, I take my entries here, and then I take off all contracts here. And my actual entry was on this 30-second inverse, and then once we rebalanced to this bullish imbalance, I took my other 7 cons here, and then cashed out at all-time highs. So now on ES, the trade that I ended up taking was a long, and it was actually before this trade, but basically, obviously, same story on ES. I'm extremely bullish. I just want to see it move higher. Now at market open, ES sells off here, extremely strong sell-off, and we end up sweeping out London low. Now, something that I'm always paying attention to when I'm just live in the market is I'm paying attention to displacement. Like that is vitally important. You always need to pay attention to displacement. And what I mean by that is when we take out London low, I'm looking to see what is the reaction of this low being taken. Are we going to continue to trade lower and displace, or are we going to sweep it and then get a rebalance or a move higher, right? So when we take out London low, does this look like we're displacing lower? Absolutely not. We sweep it barely, and then what is the immediate reaction of us taking out this low? We get bought up here. We inverse this 1-minute bearish imbalance, so this turns to an inverse for value gap, and then at the same time, and let me low key replay. I mean, obviously you've already seen what happens, but this gets inverted here, and then at this point in time, I'm like, okay, this looks really good. I like this reaction. I like how we sweep it, get bought up immediately. We inverse this 1 minute, and then I'm like, okay, for an entry, I'd like to see us open up this 1 minute bullish imbalance. So this opens up here, and then this is where I take my entry when we rebalance here. And where am I targeting? I'm targeting the untapped 5-minute for value gap. So if we go here, as we can see from the sell-off that ended up sweeping out London low, we left this untapped 5-minute, and this is what catches my eye. This is the highest probable spot. Like you could go for here, you could go for here, you could go for London high, but I mean, what I'm confident in is the nearest form of buy side, like the most obvious target, which is the 5-minute. So that's where I end up taking my long here, and then I simply just cash out at the 5-minute. So this was a really clean trade here, really textbook, fast move. And then here are the executions for that. Here, so you can see enter here, exit here, really textbook setup. And then at this point in time, though, like as soon as this, I see how like extreme and efficient this move was. This is where I was confident that NQ was going to go take out these highs here. So after I take this trade, I went over to NQ, and this is when we were like right here, and I was like, okay, as long as we can get a rebalance, like as long as we don't just go straight up and take out buy side, and as long as we can, get some form of rebalance, then there's still a trade on the table, right? Because like as long as the draw on liquidity is still intact, there is still a trade potentially to be taken, right? So even if you see this big move up and you're not in the trade, like you haven't taken an entry, don't start tweaking out and like, click buy only to get immediately obliterated. Like just be patient, and more often than not, the market will give a nice rebalance to the like we got today, and then you can just look to take that inverse.